today do one of the last things I did was really sort of obsess over this section, right? Um, I really like that sort of opening from this vantage, but I really liked also how this cut was smaller on the top and wider at the bottom. So I wanted to invert that for this cut and make it wider at the top and smaller at the bottom, just as a sort of weird continuation poetry. So today we're working on the underside. I want to have some follow through on some of these shapes. I really liked this sort of like subtle little lip that is created with a very smooth bevel. Thinking something like that would make sense because I want to spread the features. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to do today, because it's so contained at the top here, how you've got this pair, you've got that pair, and you've got whatever this is going to become. For the underside, I want to join these in a weird way. So I want to join these two and leave these singular and open, just for just for something different, you know. Because one of the other things that I learned while making all of those other pieces is that if you build a certain piece with a lot of asymmetry, it actually makes it quite a nice model to work with when, like, let's say you wanted to keep, you really like this sort of element here. What you could end up doing with this model is that you could mirror it on the x-axis, or you'd rotate it and then mirror it on this axis, and then maybe you'd rotate it again by 120 degrees and then mirror it again, so you get all three sides having this element here. Same is true for this side, same is true for that side. So in a sense, this is one model with three distinct sides, but each side has the potential to take over the other two sides and become something else. Another thing you could do, sorry for the long boring intro, but it's just going to be some of the logic that I want to apply in these models in general. If I did a split on this line, that horizontal line there, I could split it there and widen it as a wider piece. So stuff like that is part of why, like, I try to restrain myself so much and make it a little boring, because it means I can edit it a bit more later when I use these for stuff. Because right now it's just, this is like a glob of like little things that are happening to it that can be applied to bigger things, which I guess is what all models are. But kit bashing is a weird thing for me that I'm trying to sort of figure out for myself and how I'd use it, and then hopefully that resonates with anybody else. Okay, so we're all mostly set up. I just need to select everything here because that is where the recording left the last. Oh, okay, that's fine. Hold on, I can select it there. Yeah, so that's where the last section was. What I'll do is, first thing I'll do is I want to clean this up, at least the underside. So I'm just going to lift that a bit, open up these holes, and then what I think I'll start with is probably doing that joining exercise of joining these two. So I will start by joining these two. Hopefully it's a nice clean enough J function. And then I know that a lot of this needs to be cut some more. So I've got my first cut there. Thinking maybe I introduce a shallow cut, a little bit like this one here. So something like that, but maybe not as, yeah, so essentially take that, mirror it, and then do a cut there. I don't know if I want to do anything too fancy. Yeah, no, actually, that might work. I just need to modify this a bit. But yeah, no, I think I can get that to work. But for now, our first recording is just going to be opening up these holes and then joining these two, because I'm not collapsing it yet, but I just know that for the most part we're almost there. Because the big challenge for today is just not keeping this as flat. It's lightening it up now, because you can see how much of the top got chewed up. So I want to do the same amount of chewing here, just to leave only what needs to be left. And I'm now only just realizing and hoping that the sound is coming through, but it looks like it is. Okay. There's always such a nerve-wracking thing, because these recordings just... So let's select it. So get ready there. Camera's been set up. Just need to check GPU's codec. So I'm gonna overturn and there's a weird thing. Okay. Let's just save this. I reckon this is going to be, this first one could just be a really long one. But we'll see, because it's at advantage where I could do all the work in one shot, but it's nice for it to move about. So I think once I've opened that up a bit, maybe I'll start work on that and zoom in right away, because they're only going to be looking at this part or this corner. What I do with that, I'm not sure yet, but I guess that's what I have my reference for. But I do know that that has to stay. So maybe I'll let that lead the rest of it, but we'll see. Okay. Go in here. And we are go. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is that. So, oh, first thing we need to do is just set. Oh, I think I wanted to raise this a little bit. That's how much, that's the main thing. So, no, actually don't raise this. What I should do is just join these two. Okay, so then it's that. Actually, no, this should be nice and pronounced, because I want that to, I don't want that to be so flat, and this could be part of like a joining. So then, let me just do this. This is where this would have to be. Okay, that's what that is like. So, that missing that. Actually, let me just. Actually, no, that's fine. Okay, well, I'll do this. Okay, that's to cut. That doesn't need to cut there. Okay, so that needs to cut that too. Nice, I think. Hold on, no. Actually, wait, no, that's fine for now. I'll do a cut back again, since that's now one piece. Okay, and then don't know if I don't know if this is making sense. That I don't want like that. This particularly this needs a lip. At least like something that looks like it's 5 mils or something. Because right now it's like a razor edge, which like that. But so that just means I need to. Just wondering if it will apply to both. Because this is not doing much anymore. This has essentially done its job. So what I can do is delete that. So I've got the lip. I just now need to put this to. Okay. This, I like that. Just on the right item here. Okay. Don't realize why it's doing that. Okay, so what I just need to do now is I need to throw back. Hold on. Do I want to throw that back? No, I don't. So that just needs, that's just going to close as it is. And if anything, yeah, that closes there. We'll figure that out later. The same will apply here. The thing is that because that goes gently into that maybe, then what I should do is make these smaller, because what it ends up doing is that it allows me to keep that cut. What I'll do is I'll strengthen on this side, because I can always taper them. Always taper them. This. I can always bring them out because I want that clearance. Because normally I would just do just have the same sort of this. I'd have the same. I have the same jutting out that I have here. Where is it? Where'd you go? Did I destroy it somehow? No. You know what? I think it's no longer being cut. It's no longer being cut. I didn't delete it. Oh, okay. I have no idea what happened there. And that's that. There we go. Yeah. So I wanted to do something like that here, but because these are in this sort of like, I don't know what the technical name for these things are. I want to keep that clean, at least on that side. So something just to sit in it without being interrupted. I think that's long enough. First recording. Because now I need to think about this because I'm not sure what I want to do. It's stuck now, but I'll get it. I'll get it. Where's the sound onto this? It's supposed to be. Oh no. Okay, I'm not muted. I thought I was muted there. So let me just render this out. That's also why the file's so big. Jeez, like, that's not a whole 10 seconds. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to speed the clip up. Why is it taking so long? Because I haven't sped the clip up. Down there. There's that speed that I love. Got that selected, it's fine. Okay. There's 720. Just call them 720. Something's happened to my display. You ever experienced this thing where you've got everything set not to do auto updates and then you wake up one day and everything's different because it's auto updated? I don't know what this interface is. What the F is this? Encoder speed. Sorry, I did not update this. This is so annoying. I'm worried now that whatever, because there are more controls that I now don't have. Okay, let's just see what it looks like. The whole thing's changed. This is a Windows thing, not a. I've never had this with Linux. Okay, well, I hope the clip is fine. Okay, anyway. Hold on. Okay. So that's supposed to be there. Oh, that is a weird thing. One thing I'm hoping is that whatever they've changed hasn't taken away controls that have like a really visible difference with the quality of the renders, because there's the encoder. There was something to do with the encoder. I don't know if I think it was the encoder speed that are always set to 0, because that allows the highest quality, but now I can't even touch that encoder setting. Because I always see, every time I start up, I always see, do you want to update? It's been this long since I've updated. I'm like, no, thank you. And I'm pretty sure the last time, anyway, that is so annoying. Because I remember this was always a thing, like regardless of when you turned settings off for Windows, whatever, it would just do it anyway. And that was like the one redeeming thing I loved about Linux, is that you didn't have to worry about stuff like that. Now, you're starting up the thing that you used the other day, and it's like, oh, I'm different now. Okay, let me see, hold on, can you see this? There we go. Let me show it to you. Load on. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to see it here. Because the one thing I noticed is that the interface looks like a little cleaner. Like it definitely has a newer look to it. I was like, okay. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. It's set to WebM. But it's still different. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah, it's rendering it a different. I have to abort the job. And then now it's rendering MP4, and now I can change the encoder speed. So that's now video maximum. Okay, I think we're good. I'm just going to render that, and then probably be okay. So I'm already stuck, but I think it's a good stuck, because I am. Okay, the one thing I need to figure out. Okay, let's move the camera first after we sort of understand what I'm working on. So my one limitation is it's not it's open. What have I done here? Because that's definitely a part to understand, because I want to focus on this. So that's just going to close. That gets closed. I'm interested to know why that's at an angle. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, so that closes. But I'm also wondering if there's an opportunity here to apply one of these to that, or if it's doing too much. Because that's open. Maybe I should just leave that. So that gets closed, that gets closed. This just needs to be opened up here, and that will in turn get opened up there too. So this is not a nice I mean, it's like it's not a bad thing. It just actually no, I think it's going to be a good thing, because what it means is that whatever fits into that will have part of the fasting openings integrated into the piece. So I mean, it's not a bad thing. Okay, let's move the camera. So I want to focus on, let's keep working on that. Excuse me. Okay, so I need to find a way to close this. I don't know why. Oh, it's probably just as simple as changing the. So not that. It's going to be. I think there's something to do with. Oh, oh, it's not even that. Sorry, I don't know. Selecting the one. This is the thing that's cutting it. Okay, so that's that one. It's this one. Okay, but as it stands, it's already open. So I'm also not ready to close these. I think the issue is with it might not be closed somewhere. Is it here? Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, no. Oh. Okay, let's let's check out our clipboard. Whoa, that is 10 times the size I was expecting. Oh no, what have you done? Sorry, I do need to check this. This does affect things. So That made it 10 times the size. Because I was expecting maybe, okay, how long is this video clip? It's not that long. Let me make sure I'm not exaggerating. Okay, so it's 1.8 gigs. The clip is 12 minutes long. How can I hear myself? So I hear myself. Oh, it's the recording. It shouldn't have been recording audio. Yeah, no, this is not a great look for the stream. It's just wow. What? Oh, export audio? No. Even though I deleted the audio shouldn't have been there. I don't know. I guess it's rendering huge files now. I don't have time to sort this out. Thank you, Kid in Life. Right, okay, so got that closed. Okay, so I guess this makes the point easier to illustrate. So the way this is now, and the reason why I had to make those holes smaller on this side, I can always make them larger that side because there's less. Actually, no, I might have to do that. Is that if you can imagine the piece that closes this, there's going to be a lip that makes sure that it's secure, even though it's happening at different levels. Just a lip that comes up to, it goes in like that. Actually, the lip happens here. So it follows that shape and then it goes straight down that point there, and that's why we needed that clearance. So this also needs to get cut. It also needs to get cut. And I think we need to uncut it. I need to uncut the cutter. So like this I'm not going to record. Really, so much gets cut. Okay, so this. This is supposed to have a cutter. So if I don't ever scroll on that, I guess it's that. So all I can just do. Actually, it doesn't even affect it there. Okay, I'll sort that out later. This skater last thing is thrown for a loop. Okay, so I think for, okay, let's look at how can I deal with that then. Because my instinct is just to do something, but maybe just leave it for now. this was the one that I think I probably have a better chance doing something. Because I can either leave that as it is, so treat it as one of those, where it's just like a clean sort of rise, and then give this sort of subtle bevel treatment to these smaller ones, which might be cleaner to do. Now I just want to think about what I want to do with the rest of this, because it really is. My gut just says keep it simple, leave it like this, and then just keep chopping the other bits. But maybe bigger. I do know I don't want to disrupt that. I do know I don't want to disrupt that. I do know that this needs to go. This needs to go. And I think, okay, hold on. Let's look at this. Let me see your cutter. Okay, so that's not the cutter I'm looking for. That's the cutter I'm looking for. Okay, so, okay. Okay. Okay, so I only need okay, hold on, let's think about this. So whatever comes down is going to be impacted by that. And it might be a good thing that that lip is there. So I'm not going to be too hasty on that. I'm looking at it and thinking, what are you doing? But I think it should go. I think it should go. In my mind, I'm just like fuming a little at this little change that's just affected my memory situation. Okay, you will have to adapt. You will have to adapt. Okay, so that stays. I think for now that's done. What I can look at, and maybe it's a bad thing that I'm actually just like, okay, this and now this and then this and then this. It's like if it's fine as it is, leave it. But there's a lot going on this side. Okay, let's actually let's do that. Let's refer to what we've done for ideas on what we can do. So I don't have anything like this here yet. I can. I think there was no, it's too close. I'd want that to happen because the whole idea with the top was that is as low as that. Actually, wow, that's so different to how it started. Because that's, oh, is it? Yeah, no, that's as high as that. While also, why is Booleans on? Oh, it's the ever scroll. Okay. Quickly navigating this. Okay. I'm gonna think through this. This will be cool. This will be cool. We had such a cool start. I'm going to follow through on that. Okay, I'm of two minds about keeping that. I think it needs to go. Selfishly, because I can just see what a nightmare it's going to be to solve to clean up the topology for. I mean, there's an element that's nice, but what is it doing? Immediately, what is it doing? Because my instinct is just to take this cutter, the cutter of this cutter, rotate it 180 degrees and cut into it. Rather cut in than have it attach out, because it helps to maintain that clean thing. And again, it plays into this whole thing of me wanting to just now stop whittling away at this geometry. I need it lighter. So maybe that's what we can focus on here. Okay, so what I can do, this is where we are, right? I am going to lift those. I'm going to lift those. Say it one more time. Oh, I'm feeling so stuck. Because what can I do? What I can do is address these holes. Those also need to be made small, and I think it was 180. I made it small by 180, or I Alt-S'd by 180 to make them the same as that, right? And then that'll address that subsection, because as far as I'm concerned, that's done. But that gets cleaned up. I don't want to get too cut happy. I mean, okay, so maybe then if I can't figure it out, I'll turn the model over and start working on this, because I'll be addressing that anyway. So maybe that's the next thing. If I'm stuck on one side, just go to the other. Okay, so what can I see on this one? I can see here. So what I will do is I'll do that. I'll take this cutter, the cutter of this cutter, and cut that piece out. And then, yeah, I see that. Okay, and then I'll address these holes, and then we turn it over. I'm not going to rush to raise these. I think it's better that they aren't raised. Look at that later, because okay, so let's just get going on this. Indecision is not my friend. Okay. So let us start recording. Right. And 80. Just go. So that's the look. addressed that protuberance issue. Okay. With that. Okay, so let's just let's address this quickly. So let's do that. Let's do that. Are you a mirror? No, you're not. Wait. S 180. Oh, wait. Beep, beep. Perfect. Those. Row. Just insert those. This now. I might get lucky enough and create a section I can just copy over. Because I haven't done that yet. I've only done that with cutters. I need to try to do it with some geometry too. Because that could help me deal with some things. Totally different program. It's a totally different program. Because the thing is, I don't. Sometimes like let me not say, oh, this is one of the things that really messed things up. It kind of did, but sometimes these quality of life changes that get made, there were some really good ones. One I really enjoyed. I've been using such an old version of Inkscape since I started using uh, Linux, right? And I only recently had to update it to because I wanted to create a PDF booklet, but I couldn't do it with that version because a lot of the tutorials were just talking about things I'd never heard of. So I knew it was time to update. So when I did, my goodness, some of the things that have been done since the version I used, yo, like I like using Inkscape now because so many issues it had I've just fixed. So I always try to look at it through that lens of just sometimes the changes are good, but this was not a good change. Whatever happened here was not a good change. But I'll work with it. It can't be too bad. It just sucks now that the files for some reason are just so much bigger. So that's 2. Let's render that. I'm wondering if it's video quality. Well, obviously I want the fullest quality. Audio doesn't matter because it's not supposed to be rendering audio. Selected. There used to be, no, you probably won't see it, but hold on, let's do that. So this side used to have a whole bunch of settings that would go all the way to the bottom. Unless I'm being dwarf, and some of those settings are collapsed somewhere. There used to be more here. It used to go all the way to the bottom. This metadata stuff used to be right here. All of this stuff here would be closer to the bottom, which makes me think that maybe, yeah, there's like a whole section that's gone. That's where a lot of this other settings would be. So they've moved some things around, but just their rendering algorithm or whatever now is not as efficient. But you know what? It still does a good job, decent enough job. I just need more memory. So I'm gonna hit render on this. And we can shut down. Oh, All of a sudden the settings are back. What the hell happened? So, uh, all the settings as I remember them are back. All of them. What the hell was that? Because look, this is how I was explaining it. That in all of these are all the settings that were there before, and then you can see the metadata stuff is at the bottom. Everything is as it was. Was that? Maybe it was in a different. I really don't want to jinx myself, but something weird was up. Maybe it was on that, and I wasn't actually paying attention. No. Actually, you know what? Let me not tempt fate. Oh, and I deleted the clip. Okay, well, I can do this one. Okay, so I think this is the second chance. Second wind. Okay, let me just render this and then we can get into this. I have no idea what has been happening. Let me just make sure all of my settings. Shit. The one thing that they do need to change for Kden Live is removing the ability of hovering over something and scrolling. Because you could be scrolling on the side and your mouse could slip in a bit and then all of a sudden you've changed a setting that you won't notice. That is not good UX. It's convenient when you're slow and sort of methodical with things and paying attention to it, but like if you're casually just looking somewhere else scrolling down, like right now I can't remember what that setting is. That's what I think it is. Okay, so that's going. Let's put this back. Okay. Oh, that's quick. Okay, so see that the screencast keys are. Okay. So we said that. Right, so that none of that's saved. So I need to open up these holes and then flip. Oh, I need to do that again too. Okay, so I need to. Actually, let me just move that to the center. So make it a cleaner. So that'll be, yeah, okay, that I can do that and I can do that. Okay, that's fine. Let's just quickly check what my last angle was. I'm really sorry about that. Something's going on with something. And it's throwing everything out of whack. It's always these new problems when I'm streaming. Okay, just have to check this here. 6.5 megabyte. What? That's why. I should make my shorts again. Okay, so it definitely it rendered it to the wrong thing. But it's so weird how it rendered it rendered the change, not the thing that was I said render to. Okay, horizontal. Let's just hope that one sticks. File and route. Today's a mess of a stream. It's a mess of a weekend though, so I think it only just follows theme. But my resolution for today is to finish the blocking and then start the cleaning up. Because I mean, a lot of it's done already. I could stop right now and say this model's done, but I know that I just there's particularly this excuse me, this part here that needs to be joined up, and then I could just call that done, but I know there's something more that I could do there. I know there's something I need to do there, but I think what I'll do is just work at cleaning up. Do you know, I think the wiser thing to do would be to just call it here. But I do think, oh yes, okay, so something I'm thinking about here that I thought I didn't say it was that I want to cut some of this out, but actually, it might just be better to maybe cut it to, so if you can imagine a line that goes there, I can just edit it. So a line that goes there, like so maybe a third. What's a third look like? So, but I wanted to cleanly join up with one of those edges. That's horrible. Wait, is it not placement? Sorry, my mouse is giving me stuff. So something like that, and then it probably stops. Yes, okay. I'm planning over this idea already. So that's not going to be as clean, but up to that point, and then up to that point as well. So okay. So that I usually use my tablet for this, but some people do just find that they're nice. Okay, so that gets cut, right? Because that will help me achieve just lightening the mass of this. Even though I imagine it being like a metallic sort of like cast thing, it's nice for it to just be cut as much as possible. So, and then but the cut excludes. So essentially what I'll be doing is creating another cut that's that shape, but then I create another boolean that cuts that cutter shape, if that makes sense. Because I know I don't want to go up anymore, but I'm already doing that with this, and it's going to defeat the purpose of separating these two. So these two can be elevated in the context of this new cut. And then that's probably where I can have that, or I have this, that bevel there, have the bevel be as wide as that. But that's something I'll come back to a little later. Just need to check. Okay, that's 18 minutes. Okay, it looks great. Okay, so I think we're back. I'm so sorry about that. That just took me. Hopefully one day I'll figure out what happened there. Because yeah, that was a different program I was looking at. That was a different program I was looking at. So this is a whole bunch of stuff was closed. Just trying to get back up and keep track. Is not AC. This over there. So now I need to go back up again. Right. Yeah, I need to go back up again. So I can centralize and go back up. Okay, I don't know how much of the sound is getting picked up, so I'm gonna go and mute again. But you should be able to follow along with what I'm doing. You're cut. I'm hoping this is coming through. You're cut. In order to carry on, I now need to start applying some of these booleans because I won't be able to join. It won't be as easy to join this piece together without it. So I think it's time that I start joining them. But before that, I know. So let's do this exploration before I start recording. So this needs cool, but the whole point of this is, I mean, that stays clear, but now it's cutting way too much into what's happening there. So okay, so not that, but I do need to find a clean. Unless what I do is I just because what I can do is I can just I'm thinking that's going to be what I actually end up should be doing. So I'll do that. I'll just to make it a clean sort of. I'll create it with this strip. I'll just follow it through till it collides with that, and see if maybe I do the same. No, yeah, it needs to stay on the outside. So let me just see. These need to be smaller. Okay, let me figure this out while I model. Okay, now I'm going to mute myself. But yeah, I'm gonna figure that section while I model it. Because yeah, I think that connection is gonna be. I think a lot of the work is done. I don't want to create new stuff. All I'm looking to do is to link this piece and that piece without impeding too much more on the clearance that's already there, because I think that'll be fine. I think that'll make for an interesting joining piece. So I don't want to do any more than that. But I did think that um, that uh, taking this further in was nice, especially when so I think I'm really gonna be stubborn about this, but maybe I don't know. Okay, not this, not that, but just making that wider. Just go all the way in. I really do think. I don't know. I like it more. I like it more. So I'm going to do. Okay, I'll figure that out because it gives me more. Actually, no, it shouldn't give me more, but it kind of does. I'm just looking for something that's going to play nicer with that opening or with the joining of these two. Plus, I like that platform there because it makes me think about this piece being like a vertical face, and how that interaction might be really nice, especially when it has to be closed off by something else. But that only starts to become more apparent when you're doing something with it. Plus, um, it makes for something interesting on this side of it, because now there's another mass that you're interacting with, so it's not just like an open hole. There's a part of it that needs to be addressed when you sort of go into it. So I think I am going to do that. I'm going to make that hole smaller. I'm going to make that hole smaller, maybe raise it again and just see what I can do with that, because I might not need to do anything. So, and I'm only going to know that once I've done that. So okay, back to meeting. We're gonna start recording again. On the one hand, I think it will be fine if I just remove it altogether, because that solves that issue. But one, I do think, damn it, I do need to make it do something, especially now, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close it off there. I might as well just chunk it again. So just do next for that part. But I know that what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to collapse it and just start cleaning up the topology. So that's where I can sort of settle on what I want to do with that part. But I think it was a better move just to make that bigger rather than just being a small thing. But I do know that I want to. I'll close that somehow and then see what I do with this. So that'll be what I do there. Don't tell me I wasn't recording this whole time. It's fine. I think it's fine if that wasn't recording. 1650. Okay, it was. Yo, play it cool, play it cool. Okay, so just want to make sure that I'm happy with where that is. I don't think there's any right now. I think I'm stopping because I can't think of anything more to add to it. And I don't want to now just like, oh, I gotta add things for the sake of adding them. So that is how we end up in positions where we're dealing with too much for no reason. So so let's click let's click not audio, that's it. Right, okay. That's nice and quick. Okay, so just so I'm sure, I mean I'm looking at this and there's like enough interesting bits to say, you know what, after cleaning this up, this can be considered done. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that. But in terms of this side though as well, I think I should just cutting that bit the way I did, I think should be enough. Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, yeah, I don't want to also draw this out too long as well. I can do my fixes in the next piece. For now, I think I just need to deal with this because this is going to be, these little sections here I know are going to give me help. But in terms of a transition, I think I'll look at that last recording and see, because now it's basically that the second step now where it's just applying the booleans and joining these elements together and then cleaning up edges and stuff. 2 hours. I think I can do some now just to make it a 2.5 hour at least. Yeah, and then we can, because I'm looking at this, excuse me, that doesn't need to be as many. I think any of these don't need to be as many. Maybe that one. There's no real harm to it being a lot, but I think for now, just leave it. Actually, is that a bad thing? Not really. Yeah, no, that's gonna, what I can do, so the next one can be, so I had that selected. Okay, so I think whatever it is now, I'm gonna just work with what I have. This, some cleaning up I can do. Okay, because what I want to do here is drop that to the, oh, why did I raise that? So that gets dropped to that point. That still maintains what that is. I'm just trying, because it was cut anyway, so okay. That stays cut there, but I'm wondering if it might be better. I'm not sure about that, but I think this is one of those cases where I rely on the smoothing of subdivision, but I think I do want to take that down. It's not doing like a lot to be, and it's the only one that's doing it. So I think I definitely want to take that down. Okay. Let me just apply all of the booleans. I'm gonna check. I'm happy to apply all of them here. I'm happy to apply all of them to this piece. Yes. Yes. So I can apply all of these. Actually, no, I do. No, I don't like that double cut. Oh, I know where it's from. It's from this. So using all this, it's not going to apply now, and that wouldn't have worked because it would have cut some of it out. So no, I'm happy with what that is. I think that just fixed my. No, it didn't. But I also might be worrying about nothing, so let me just remove that. Okay, so I said I'm happy to apply all of the booleans to this one. Now I'm just speed running just to the end. Like, don't stall anymore. This is its own type of work as well. I'll find something for this, even if it means that, because my instinct now is just to carry that line through. Maybe to like invert that so it's like a nice smoother bevel there. But then on this side, you can still keep, it'll sort of warp in and still keep that sort of curve shape. So that just means I need to bring this in. Or not, who knows? But that's fine. Okay, so that's all of the pieces with the booleans applied. Bang. Just need to just remove them. All in all, though, I think this is a much better piece. In how much more reserved I chose to be with it. I'm really excited to see what it looks like when everything's cleaned up. So I'll do some of that today. Sign. No, not really, because I did include that line anyway. So yeah, I'll focus on this. So that's the selected part. this is the fun part, as I keep saying. Just so it's clearer where I'm selecting from. So that, okay. So that is that. do here. Okay, I'm definitely going probably could. Next week, we can look at sure if I'll be able to finish it in one stream. I guess you could call this the halfway point of this one. So yeah, today wasn't was a stream that had its own sort of turmoils, but I think managed to bounce back and get everything done that I was hoping to get done. I'm hoping that everything, like the intentions I had for this underside sort of like comes through in the cleaning up of the model, but I did know that I didn't want to take it too far from where it was, and maybe that's why there was the block. It was a sign telling me don't do any more. As fun as it is, just clean it up now. So is it done? Yeah, so next stream, I'm starting the next, what is it called? MDP Mini 05 on Wednesday. That stream will be on my Patreon, free for anybody to watch on the day that it's live, and then after that stream, it goes just to the paid members. So if you want to see how that model comes together, you can just check it out on my Patreon. I'll leave a link in my community tab here on YouTube for anyone that's interested. And then the next stream for this project will be this coming Friday. And we'll be continuing to build or to clean up this model. So if you stayed or if you joined after the mess, thank you for watching. I will see you on this model on Friday.